all, thank you to Patty, and thank you just to this organization. I'm a new kind of devotee of what it does, but I feel like it's just such an honor. I really haven't run across a nonprofit that tugged on every one of my 7th grade Love Note heartstrings as well. As Patty said, I wrote a book called Perfect Girls, Starving Daughters, The Frightening New Normalcy of Hating Your Body, which came out in hardback in April, and it will be in paperback in September. And that book was really born out of outrage for me. I don't think of myself as an angry person generally, but when it comes to some social issues, and when it comes to young women in particular, I can get pretty pissed off. And what I've learned about that is when I feel that anger, that writing is the way that I can sort of harness some power around it. Writing is my way of healing, writing is my way of sort of reaching out and kind of getting that collective anger so we can all change something instead of feeling alone, as we've been talking about. So what I was really pissed off about at the time was how much the really smart, brilliant, beautiful women around me hated their own bodies. Throughout high school and college, I had too many friends with either textbook eating disorders or disordered relationships around food or fitness. I myself, experimented with disordered eating, experimented with overexercising, and I was sort of looking around and I was thinking, we are the most wanted generation of women in history because of birth control and other accesses that our mothers had. We're the most well-educated. We now outnumber men in college campuses by 2 million. We're breaking just about every glass ceiling possible, now maybe the presidency, and we're still counting calories and worried about our thighs. And it totally pissed me off, and I started to ask older women about it and say, hey, have you noticed that most young women I know hate themselves, even though they're the most brilliant, beautiful women in the world? And I would generally get sort of oh, Courtney, this is just our thing. We diet, women have this thing, it's what we do. It'll get better, don't worry about it. And I refused to accept that. So this book was really my way of talking back to that answer and saying it's not normal. It's not a natural part of being a woman. What is normal is for women like those you'll see today express themselves, take up space, have beautiful original ideas, fall in love with their own quirks, abandon perfection for joyful, relationship-oriented lives. That's what's normal. So the book is my way of restating that should be what we think every young woman should expect in this country and globally. One of the little sections of my book is a fairy tale, and I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to pass over the mic to why you're really here tonight. Once upon a time, there was a generation of little girls born with furious cries and tiny hearts swollen with potential. They were raised in a world that told them daily how special and capable they were, but also how unfinished and burdened with hope. A seed of anxiety was planted in the center of their beings. It sprouted and spread quickly. By the time they were 12, they no longer remembered what it felt like to climb trees or grow bored at meals. Their bodies, growing bigger and more uncontrollable all the time, became their enemies. They wandered the world hungry, trying desperately to appease their anxiety with accomplishments. Gilded little plastic trophies engraved with their names, report cards, stuck to refrigerator doors, letters from colleges confirming their superiority. They wanted things other than these little tokens, but they couldn't quite remember what those things were. Their forgotten desires turned to belly aches, numbed only by food or the refusal of it. They couldn't hear the whispers originating from deep within over the roar of their exercise bikes churning in place. They looked in mirrors, scrutinizing their reflections so long that they forgot that a whole world existed outside of the looking glass, a whole world that needed their ideas and their commitment and their passion. But one day, one girl looked at herself in that mirror and was shocked at how beautiful her crooked nose was, how strange and lovely. Another girl noticed the striking curve of her big hips. Another relished in her chest, flat as a board and ready for anything. Another discovered her rounded belly, and another her long, sturdy feet, and another her strong thighs. And then these same girls started to wonder, if they were so surprisingly beautiful, what surprises did the rest of the world beyond the looking glass hold? One day, one brave girl stepped right through, and another followed her, and another, and another. I invite you to meet some of the young women who are stepping through that looking glass and giving us their real voices in the world. These are going to be mentors and mentees who are talking under the theme of body language.